Hi everyone, and welcome back on Adobe Live. This is the second day of this week about editorial design, graphic design, and amazing designers working with InDesign actually. And we will start the day with Brett. How are you today?
Good.
Yeah?
How's it going, guys? Good.
Yeah, doing good. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I want to keep working on this amazing book that you started yesterday.
Yeah.
Maybe we will start by an introduction for people joining just today.
Sure.
They can watch the replay, so the replay is already available on the Creative Cloud YouTube channel. Also, we will do some giveaways. We will give away these amazing posters, illustration made live on Adobe Live. It was this year. Actually, and some of them were last year. Maybe this one was last year, I think. And we will also give you chance to win Creative Cloud with our daily challenge. So today it's a different one. Yesterday, they worked on the holiday cards.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
a lot of great submissions yesterday.
Yeah, it was really. I was super impressed, and so many entries. It was really awesome. So I wanted to challenge you a little bit more, like today, something more challenging. And today it's Art and Culture magazine. It's a beautiful free template, again available on Adobe Stock, but I will give you more details in about 10 minutes. I see Luis in the chat. Tyron, you're back. Okay, I like that. The good old drama. H2B2, good to see you again. So let's start by maybe an introduction and maybe discover some of your work that we didn't showcase yesterday.
Sure.
How does it sound? Okay.
Yep.
Let's do that.
Hello again, guys. My name is Brett Newman. I live here in San Francisco. I'm currently working as the design director at Hybrid Design, which is in the Mission in San Francisco. Great little studio.
Tacos.
Great tacos.
Great tacos.
Taco bar is pretty close, yeah. Never a dull moment over there. Yeah, I've been in San Francisco for about almost 10 years now, and been worked in advertising for a little while, and then moved over to a full kind of multidisciplinary design shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and super thankful to be here. Thanks for inviting me again.
Oh, thanks for coming. I mean, I really appreciated what you did yesterday. If you didn't watch Brett yesterday, you will see like he's super good at sharing his knowledge about graphic design, explaining how he makes decisions. It was. I really appreciate it. So super excited for today.
I'm glad. So I'll do a little recap of what we worked on yesterday soon, but maybe want to take you guys through one of the projects.
Yes, please. Yeah.
That I've done in the past that might be kind of close to what we're going to work on today. So for those of you that were here yesterday, I talked about another issue, a different issue of this Mohawk Maker Quarterly. Mm-hmm. So we do this project, the Hybrid, for Mohawk Paper, based out of New York. Some of you may be familiar. They have a really good graphs on the design community. I think a lot like Adobe, but just in the paper and tangible world. So we create this publication form loosely every quarter, and it's based on a theme each time. And this theme was inspiration. So basically we spent a lot of time researching and talking to people and figuring out what inspires different kinds of people, and which is sort of a large task, and I feel like what gets talked about a lot. So we tried to do it
it's a tough question.
It's really tough.
I don't know. Yeah, I would be interested in reading this because a lot of times this is a question that we see in the chat actually for our guests, like how do you get inspired?
Yep.
I don't know if you have an answer to that. Like, do you know?
I don't really have a good answer.
It's
no, I think as much as possible, I like to try to look outside of graphic design itself for inspiration. So, reading books and going to museums, and also just like getting knowledgeable about things that you're interested. Period is a really good way to sort of broaden your take on projects that you work on. And it allows you to kind of have different perspectives as you look at your projects and talk to clients, so you can step outside of the design world a little bit and be in the shoes or the spot of the client or of people that might be reading your work. But not really a great answer. It's different for everybody. I like to be outside and think.
Okay.
You know, think softly to myself. Softly to myself.
Not too hard.
Not too hard. Sometimes you don't think at all, and then you just get good ideas, and those are the best kinds. So just to kind of walk you through this project, we tried to, you know, kind of have examine what people use and talk about for inspiration, and sort of put these things together in kind of an interesting way. And for this one, we took a look at the form factor and kind of deconstructed a magazine a little bit, and started using a couple different sizes. So this book is saddle stitched here with a staple. And that allows you to vary the size sheets pretty easily.
Oh, you have 3 sizes just with the
so it's basically
the first
like
experience. 1, 2, 3. That's good.
So we have our editor's letter that kind of introduces the concept, and this issue is right after we did a redesign of the quarterly. So we're talking a little bit about what inspired us and why we did this redesign in the first place. So it talks a little bit about that, and then you flip to the inside. And we have a nice TOC here, so you can get a hint of what we might be talking about on the inside.
Okay.
And then a couple looks at some of the features as we go in here. We did a story about this Type Foundry, who, you know, we actually used one of GT's types last time, GT America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were not the only one, Mode also?
I saw that.
She used that too.
Yeah, it's an awesome typeface, and these guys do great work. So this typeface they did was inspired by these, I believe it was Russian children's books that they had found. So
that's why I can see the illustrations.
Yeah. So they have, we don't have the whole feature here, but they basically found these illustrations in these books that like they were going wild over, and they were so beautiful and kind of weird and quirky, and the type that they were using back, I think this might have been in the 60s, was so interesting that they you know built a typeface out of this. So they found, in this case, inspiration in an unexpected place. They were in some bookstore in I can't remember where in Europe, and stumbled across this book, but they were inspired by the type and the illustration that they use in this book, and then created their own version of it. Yeah, it's really cool read. And then this is an example, like getting pretty crazy on the page, but one of the co-founders of Hybrid is
you were talking
we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Is a very avid collector of many different things. And collections are a huge source of his inspiration for life and work and all that stuff. So we decided to do a little story about not just him, but about people that collect things. And it's almost like collecting inspiration, the stuff that you can hold on to and go back to, in this way, in a physical manner. So these are all like kind of limited edition skateboard decks from the 80s and 90s. We actually have a big wall of these in the studio. Awesome. That's really awesome to come into every day. And then a record shop over on 24th Street called Pyramid Records gave us some records to photograph, and kind of talked about his process of collecting and why he keeps certain records. And then we have some weird Japanese toys here that Brian, the co-founder of Hybrid, also collects. So, and we just get really great color from this composition here, and a nice story into why people are collecting things that they do. So going through here, this is an example, you know, of stuff that we're going to kind of get into today and tomorrow with our editorial piece. So dropping in a lot of body copy, and we're going to have some secondary information here, like captions and call-outs and things that we'll have to, you know, finesse as we go along. This is an example of a pretty photo-heavy layout here. Just breaking this up into a couple sections, features of.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love this, like the fact that you, you know, like
the hand drawn.
The hand, and they say no, it's not this. This is this.
Yeah,
so
this
good.
This section of the book was about people that quit what they were doing to become something else.
It's a transition.
Yeah, exactly. So what we did with the hand drawn illustrations is cross off their previous job,
good.
and then
because you can still read it. And it's very
exactly.
good.
Yeah, we printed this with a fluorescent Pantone. So you can still see some of the type underneath, but we get a really nice vibrant color here.
So talking about the vinyl cover, like this shop shirts, I want to share with you one I discovered this weekend in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Just to share the spirit of San Francisco. Do you know this artist?
No, I don't.
I'm sure it's a great record.
I bet he rocks that flute.
Herbie, yeah. Good job, man.
You got it? How many copies of those did you pick up? Just the one?
Just one, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so more of editorial looks here. This is an example of sort of switching up the colors.
I love this, like the gradients that you.
Yeah. This is.
How did you do that?
I did this with a mesh in Illustrator. In Illustrator,
wow.
yeah.
Looks so good.
And then part of it is because it's printed with
two inks.
With 2 inks, and one of them is fluorescent. So we have this really deep blue, and then we gradate to a fluorescent Pantone.
Is this something you could do with a Riso printer?
Yeah, you would get a similar effect.
Wow,
this
so
one,
good.
this one was printed offset, but this sort of one color photo plus this pop color works really nice in Riso.
Hi Dana, thanks for joining. I see Xong, thanks for joining. Vicky, good to see you. Hey Nastia, thanks for the nice feedback. Wow, my God, look at that. Oh, NASA.
NASA,
such a source of inspiration.
Yeah,
it's just the logo. You're like, okay, I'm sold.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, so this is just a group of people that have been inspired by space and exploration and NASA and bits like that.
It's an awesome review. So you were telling us that we can sign up on their website.
Yes.
And receive the issues. I mean,
you get
so
put your
inspiring.
address in, and you'll get one of these every handful of months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great piece.
And do you regularly work with them, or is it?
Yeah, we do a lot of projects with Mohawk. We're currently redoing their website, which is really exciting. Like a website for a paper company.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Oh man, it was a beast. We have a couple of people at work that have been full on that project for a long time. And it's going to be...
It's a change.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful and awesome.
So exciting.
Yeah, this was... we try to include some special things inside a lot of these issues. Okay. And we did a collaboration with Stephen Powers, or Espo, as people might know him.
Espo.
And, old graffiti writer and now sign painter. And he collaborated with us, and we did this letterpress print with him.
Oh, no.
And we printed out.
Oh, and it was included.
Yeah, it was just slid into his section of the feature.
Frame it.
Yeah, it's really
so
beautiful,
nice.
like really deep letterpress on a really thick cardstock. It's great. And he talks about how he's inspired by his surroundings and where he lives in Brooklyn, and yeah, it's really great. And then something we do in all of the quarterlies is called the movement. So we have kind of these big features up front, and then when we get to the back of the magazine, we change up the layout and the content a little bit to provide room for more people to be showcased. Okay. So the movement is basically what we call a group of makers or artists or designers who we think are exhibiting the same sort of ideas that we're talking about in the issue. So it gets a little bit different treatment. You can see from like a 3-column sort of more feature-oriented piece. And just a nice way to separate content. So as you flip through the book, you know that something has changed, and you know that this is going to be a little bit different. Yeah, let's see. I think that's about it. This is the just like flipped close of the book, and we still get these on the back of the quarterlies. You get there's an educational piece about picking different types of paper from Mohawk that's really helpful. So yeah, that's just a quick run through of a project that's going to be, have some similarities to what we're working on today. And I think we can probably then transition into that.
Yeah, it's a great project. I just want to do a shout out to some friends in France. So If You're French is also a great magazine, which is free. Which is also managed by a print agency, like creative agency with a heavy focus on print, and they do a release, I think, every 2 months. Yeah, and they pick a theme, and they ask 10 illustrators to create an exclusive illustration based on the theme.
Oh, that's great.
So if we take this one, it was fight, battle. And the content is good too. Oh, actually, we can do. So we partner with them also to do something. So that's why I work with them. And they also have like editorial content.
Yeah, that's great.
And and these are the type of illustrations that's exclusive content. So so if you're in France, make sure to check Kevin.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
I really love this type of project, and what you do for Mohawk. I think it's really amazing and
great. Yeah, me too.
And I love seeing like creative log apps and then a tangible output. And it's such a great example. I mean, it's really awesome.
Great, thanks. Yeah, we love working on it too.
Okay, maybe we can
talk
about
contest?
the contest today because they're like, oh my god, it's so difficult. Yeah, but you did such a great job yesterday. I said, okay, maybe we need to challenge them more. You are so great. I feel that you can make it today. So to give you some clues. So today it's about art and culture magazine layout. It's by Royal Studio. So that's the name of the agency. And they created this free template that you can license for free on Adobe Stock. The link is in the contest tab. Okay, so if you're on behance.net/live, there is the chat tab, info, and contest. And you can download the template. You open it in InDesign. So it's a very long one, but I don't expect you to use all the pages, okay? If you do, maybe we should add it to the rules, guess. Maybe we can edit the rules of the contest. We could say, 3 to 5 pages should be?
Yeah. I think 3 is probably enough. Usually to get a good sense of the design, like a cover.
Let's do,
a spread with a lot of type and then an image.
3 to 5,
Yeah.
3 to 5, it should be enough, okay? If you want to do 10, do 10. But I feel it's a good opportunity also for you to feature the artists that you like, maybe the illustrators that you like. You can go on Behance, take some pictures, feature them. I thought it would be a good way also to check what inspires you. And so you edit the templates, you can keep the typeface, you can use another typeface, you can change the colors, and then you click on Publish Online, and it will create a web experience with a link that you can share with us. Okay, so that's here. So it creates something like this that we will be able to review with Brett at the end of the show. And Brett will pick his favorite project, and you can get a chance to win Creative Cloud. And you see they have very nice navigation here.
Oh yeah,
fancy. Okay, so good luck. Download the template. It's in the contest tab, and can't wait to see what you will create with this. But we know it's more challenging. It's a bit harder today, but I think you will do a great job.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Okay, so Brett, let's get back to our project. Maybe you can explain again what you're working on and recap what you did yesterday.
Yeah, we'll give a kind of a brief overview again. So basically yesterday we kind of went through this document I had put together that includes a kind of a light brief and some sizes and form factor considerations as we start this magazine. So I've decided to create a magazine that is, for now, highlighting 3 photographers.
Okay.
So I have, 3 of my friends who are working photographers have graciously donated some images to use for this project. So we have like awesome real photos to look through, and basically, I want to create a medium for these people to sort of express how they work and how they feel about their process, and just sort of give them the floor, really. And I think this magazine can extend beyond photographers too. That's just what we're working with right now. So I think if this were a real project, having this be open to professionals, professional creatives, if you will, designers, architects, interior designers, anybody that creates beautiful, meaningful work, I think has a place in this magazine. And we decided that we talked about a couple different sizes yesterday. We decided that we're going to go with a larger size to be more of a traditional magazine format. We're gonna perfect bind the book instead of saddle stitch to give us a little bit more of a premium feel and a little bit more substantial form factor. And then we went through a couple names, and the one that we landed on was assemblage. So the French word, as Michael reminds us, is just the idea of bringing people or things together into one place, and I think that's a pretty fitting name for this magazine, as that's exactly what we're doing. And then looking at some secondary naming, I think calling these volumes is something that I like the sound of. So we're gonna go volume 1, 2, 3, etc.
Hi Donna, we have Donna joining us. She's art director in Tampa.
Hi Donna, how's it going?
Thanks for watching.
And then a quick look at some of the content that we'll be doing today and tomorrow. We're going to work on an intro, which will kind of like, as a first issue for a magazine, there's usually some sort of manifesto or editor's letter that says like, hey, this is why we're doing what we're doing, and
you
welcome
set the tone. And
exactly. And then we'll work on a table of contents to walk people through the content, and then 3 features by these photographers respectively, and we'll get there pretty soon. So yesterday we started working on some covers and some type explorations.
Yeah, so you explored several proposals, and we ended with a 50-50. Maybe you can show the first one also that you did, with playing with the typography, breaking the word, and then you were like, okay, maybe we won't have this opportunity for each issue, to have a strong picture like this. So maybe we should work on the layout. So after you started exploring this with the square first and the train, and ended. So the proposal number 2 and number 3, they are so different. And we asked the chat, okay, like which one do you prefer? And it was 50-50. And I can understand why.
I think for now we're gonna keep, our both these covers in the mix. Each have a little bit different vibe. This one is a little bit looser with everything being centered. There isn't as much structure to the cover.
Okay. So
and the opposite is here. Yeah. This one is like clearly structured and things are aligned and has a little bit more of a refined tone to it. And I think what we'll do as we get into the issue and start laying out content, we'll see how that stuff comes into play, and if our content is beginning to be more structured and more refined, or if we're going to stay looser with it, and then we can kind of match our cover to it. So this is not unlike any other process. It's pretty fluid as you go through in these beginning stages. Like, oh, I have a cover that I like, and then I design all the features, and the tone completely shifts, and then you have to go back and redo your cover to sort of match what you're doing inside. So it's like it's a push and pull, and
so it's good to have 2 options.
Oh yeah, for sure,
and keep it open. Like that.
Yep. So I think we can go ahead and
want to work on the intro.
Get started. Work on the intro. Yeah. So I think let's. So
you did a master page yesterday. I remember.
Oh yeah. Let's. We can take a look at that. I might end up changing some stuff in here.
Okay.
But we can go through and just do a little recap. So I got a master page here that just kind of sets up our. I'm gonna get rid of the baseline grid for now. That kind of sets up our structure here, and we have the name of the magazine, what volume it is, and then our page numbers. I'm actually deciding that. I'm gonna change this up a little bit. So 12 I think is far too big for a masthead right now. So we're gonna push it down to 8 and then track it out a little bit so we get some more legibility in the smaller sizes.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe that's too much. Let's go with 100 for now.
And Brett is using GT America. That's the typeface.
So
that's a choice.
We're gonna explore some more in layout, but I think
such a great typeface.
Yeah, I love it. But I think for the masthead where legibility is of the utmost concern, I think having it be a nice, modern, clean sans serif typeface makes sense. So we might get in and change this as we go through the layout. Again, everything's really fluid. So if I start to like one direction that we're going in a feature, I might come back and adjust the master.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there's a typeface we're using on the cover here, which is Jarvis Pro, which is on Typekit.
Yeah, it comes from Typekit, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. I'm not totally convinced it's the right serif to use so far, but I think...
there's something crazy. Okay. I will show you something very cool today.
Something crazy?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I leave you like alone for 10 seconds?
Sure.
Just dance.
I don't know what to do. So what?
I think that was fast.
What I think we want to do with the intro is really make it obvious that we want people to read this. So using a larger size type here for the intro, and just making it nice and simple for people. I think 30 is here. Sorry if I go quiet. It's hard to talk and work at the same time.
Sorry, yeah. It's hard for the brain.
Yeah. Another typeface we're using is Druk, which, like GT America, has a lot of different weights, as you can see here. Let's see. This one's crazy. There we go, uppercase.
I'm not checking my emails, okay? I want to show you something on mobile. So
okay, I believe
keep going.
you.
I need to do a quick test.
Okay.
He's so rude.
What about me, Michael? Okay, I kind of like how this is shaping up. So, this is something we could say. Can't type.
Okay, you want to see something cool?
I do.
Okay. So do you know Adobe Capture?
I do, yeah.
Okay, what do you use it for? Like capture colors, I guess, maybe?
Yeah, the palette thing is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's super cool.
The most useful for me so far, I think.
So colors is basically if you have a very cool poster in front of you, like anything, it will capture the color theme.
Mm-hmm.
So here, for instance, it's identifying the colors. Okay.
That's amazing.
So that's a cool feature. But now there is more. There's something new that we introduced this year, which is type. So with type, again, if you have a nice poster, a nice magazine in front of you. I don't have a magazine, I have a crappy box, but we will use a crappy box. Basically what you do is that you use the camera and say, okay, this is the text. I really like this typeface. Okay, and you will help the tool and say, this is the text I want to analyze, okay? And it will tell you what typefaces on Typekit are very close to these shapes.
Wow.
So you keep the energy, you keep the mood, and you say, okay, actually, I don't know this one actually. Helvetica. Wow, interesting. The T, look at the T.
Helvetica.
The T is insane. And you say save, and it recognizes the text, save. And then it will sync it on all your computers from Typekit.
Oh, wow. That's
and
amazing.
You can start working.
Dang.
It's nice, huh?
Yeah, great.
And it's free.
Helvetica too.
Yeah, Helvetica. The first time I see this character, I had no idea. So it's also a good way to discover new typefaces. And it's free, iOS, Android.
That's
so
cool.
Anyone watching, if you're a Creative Cloud member, it will sync, but you can try it for free.
Awesome.
Someone just tried. Yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah. Love that. It's always hard to pick a typeface from a long way away and try to figure out what it is. You're
and sometimes
texting all your friends, like, what is this? What is this?
There is a website, right? Fonts in Use,
Yeah.
I love this website where they show you. Maybe there is something about Helvetica. Okay,
I bet there
I've never
is.
heard of it. Who made Kuvetica? It's from Typodermic. It's a cool name for a foundry.
Yeah, they've got good names, huh? Oh, one thing I forgot to do yesterday, guys, is add bleed to my document.
Can you explain what this is?
Yeah, so when you're working on a print project, it's always important to add bleed to your document, which is, you'll see when I do this, it's a little bit of space outside the actual size of your piece. So what it does is allow the printer to trim your pages to the correct size without fear of cutting off images or text. So you'll kind of see, I'll do the preview on so you can see it.
Oh, I see.
But
and also, like when you have a field color, like such as on the right, you don't take the risk to have a white.
Yep. It's more or less a safety, and you know, good printers will trim things exactly right, and you won't have a problem with that sort of stuff. But not everyone is precise, so you may run into issues of people trimming slightly off, and your printer will probably tell you exactly how much bleed they would like. I start with this, which is a reasonable amount. Some people go up to 1/4 inch, which is a lot, but it doesn't matter really. It's up to you. And so we got this here. We see this red line.
That's the red line.
Yeah, is our bleed.
But then you have, as a designer, you need to extend the shapes and the features,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So once we have this, any color that we want all the way to the edge, we just pull.
You just reach the bleed.
We just pull out here. Yep.
Okay.
Everything, and images as well. Anything you want full bleed will just come out to that color.
And someone was asking, how did you do the vertical text? So I guess it was with the assemblage on the cover. Is it
these ones?
This one was a rotation, I guess.
This one I just cut up the words and rotated, and then this I drew a path text on the path.
And is there a way to type and it does ASS, like vertically?
I think there is. What I end up doing, here, let's just do I end up doing just like it sort of a more manual way. So let's see. That's kind of the cool thing about Adobe programs, is that everyone uses them differently. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. So I end up doing returns.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just return.
And you have the same effect. And then you change
and you get the same effect.
The line space.
Yeah, and then you could go, like, depending on how your letters are cut, they might look better center here. So then you just center it up, and then you can go in and adjust lighting and stuff like that.
Awesome.
But I'm sure there is a really smart tool that allows you to do the same thing. I just don't know.
Mukesh is asking, can you explain the use of slug?
Slug? Yeah, sure. We're getting into like real print production territory with the slug. So
what is it? What does it mean?
Slug is basically the outside of your document that is still within your document, if that makes any sense. Usually it's for production notes from the vendors or the printer. So I don't know if I have any examples.
Is it also when you add the colors?
The color bars exist in there.
It's in the slug? That's the name?
Yep. So let's see. See, as I adjust the slug, we get this other bar coming out here, so you can't see me touching my screen.
And you can add notes for the printer.
Yeah, so here's where they might put color bars to match their 4 color processes or Pantones, and then they might they'll probably write the job name that the printer is using, and they might write the size and the trim and stuff like that. Usually we don't set up files with the slug, and that's something that people on the production side handle.
Okay.
We don't always have the information to go in there, so we generally just leave it. We leave it at bleed. When we're doing some at Hybrid we do a fair amount of advertising work too, where we do big billboards and out-of-home stuff. And those files usually come from a printer, and they'll have the slug included in the file. And it's basically just like when you hit W to hide your guides, your slug goes away too. And it's really just
it hides everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's really just for
Awesome.
production purposes.
Thanks for explaining.
Yeah, so hopefully that made sense. Let's I think we want to put an image here on the intro here. I really like this image of this old guy that
the hand gesture. I mean,
yeah,
always.
Yeah, there's sort of a good mood about it, and it's not it's not totally particular to one subject right now. So it seems like it might be a good one to use for the intro.
We did in July an Adobe Live about photography. Actually, it wasn't in July. It was another one in February or March. I don't remember. And we had someone who is a street photographer, and he explains that for street photography, if you have a hand gesture or hand doing something, it adds 50% to the picture. Like it adds a lot of value.
I totally agree with that.
And
there's something
just
about
adding life.
Hands kind of tell a story, right?
Exactly.
You can the ring, like
He's
what's
like,
this huge ring on this guy's finger?
Take
How
a
do you get
picture
that?
of me.
Or he's being really expressive with his hands. I think.
And
I
just
think
the other one just laughing on the left. It's very nice composition.
Yeah. So I think this is a good. Sorry, where my text go? It's a good start for an intro. I think we're gonna add a little credit here. So what we're using, this is Jarvis, right? Yeah.
Hi Assad, thanks for joining. If you just joined, so we are live with Brett working on this book featuring 3 photographers working in InDesign, and the name of this magazine, this first volume is Assemblage. And Azad is watching us from Istanbul in Turkey.
There you go. How's it going?
Hi Shao. Shao Fathallah. Where are you from, Shao? From Casablanca, Morocco. Oh.
Wow.
Maybe Shao speaks French. Probably.
So right now I'm adding a little caption to this photo, just, as we go through the book, giving credit to the photographers or to the artists where credit is due is obviously something good. So you'll notice here that our master is no longer visible because it's in black. So there's a couple ways that we can adjust stuff like this. The way I do it may not be the most efficient way, but for a document that won't get too long right now, what I usually do is click override on override master on the page that I'm looking at, and then I'll just go in and adjust our stuff here and turn it white. Another way that you would do that is by creating a secondary master with all white type, and then you could apply that master to that page. You achieve the same effect. This one does leave some room for accidentally moving your master, which isn't the best idea, but for now, I think we'll do just fine.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So when you design for a digital, like screen design and stuff, you tend to avoid like using a full black and full white. You always try to add some like a very dark gray, but never the full black.
Yeah.
And same for the white, you tend to
have some tone in it.
Is it the same with print, or
no? I think
with print you recommend to use the full ink?
It's totally up to you. I mean, there's obviously different processes to get black. Printers do it differently. Some printers use only black, and then some printers use a combination of all 4 colors to get their black, and that will give you a different tone of black in your printed piece. So you might hear people refer to rich black when they're talking about print, and that is a mixture of all four colors in the 4-color process, so CM, Y, and K. We tend to split it up when we're doing it for print. So when we're doing type in black, we usually do,
rich black is when the colors are
when all 4 colors are making the black. So when we're doing typography in black, we ask the printer to do 100% K. and what that does is not create problems with registration. So when you're printing 4 colors, 4 different plates of colors come on top of each other, and they have to be perfectly aligned.
Oh yeah, sometimes there is a kind of weird overlay or overlap, and this is because they're using the...
Yeah, and especially with small type, getting a printer to register all 4 colors of this size is tough. So we try to, when possible, spec 100% black for our type, and that way it's only one color that's making this print. So we get a little bit more consistency in our registration. So, if I'm talking gibberish, let me know, but that's...
No, but I remember, I worked on a print project, but it was a long time ago, and I remember that black was an issue.
It always is. It's a hard color to keep consistent.
Okay.
It's hard for people to match, and then all printers use a different process, so, yeah, see, Dan's got the breakdown of CMYK there.
Wow. And it's... okay, that's what you mix to get the rich black. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, there's a specific formula.
And I guess also it depends on the paper also, how the paper will react with the ink.
Yeah, Dan, exactly. So when we use 100% K, we don't, like right here, this black field on the right-hand side, we'd use rich black. And then for our type, where it's not in big hits altogether, we would use 100% K to get that fine registration.
Okay.
Yeah. Mitch, ink density is a whole different world. It's pretty complicated. We've had some fun run-ins with that stuff before too. Yeah, depending on the paper, printers like you to change how dense your ink is coming down so it doesn't bleed through, and there's a lot of mechanics involved. So I think that's like right now we're sort of just getting broad strokes down, and we're sketching. And we'll say that works for us for an intro, and then I think we can kind of jot down what a TOC might look like. So let's grab.
And stay tuned. We will give away some posters very soon, created live on the Adobe Live show. So be active in the chat. Keep asking questions. It will give you more chances to win.
Actually, I don't know if we need a title for this, but what we'll do, let's see, I'm gonna go back to my brief and make sure I get, so Rafa City, photograph projects.
They say newspaper has issues with the heavy coverage. Yeah, sometime, yeah.
Yeah, so newsprint's a really thin paper, so the ink density has to be pretty low, or else you get all sorts of color through the other side. All right. So I'm kind of thinking that for this application, since we don't have a huge table of contents, it might be nice to do a nice big graphic treatment.
Okay.
So
it's fun.
Yeah, so just something I always gravitate towards, the simplest application of things when I can. I don't love adding things just to add things. If there's a good reason, totally. But I tend to keep my work a little bit pared down in that respect. So let's see how I can break this up. Maybe photograph.
Oh, Janet is asking a good question. She's asking, is there a way to publish the magazine to Behance? And actually with Brett, I think it was with you, yesterday we discovered that when you use the publish online feature, so maybe you can show it like it's just here. When you use the publish online feature, so either it creates a website, Janet, or you can apparently embed this magazine in a Behance project. Remember we saw that yesterday?
I don't know if that was with me.
Ah, okay, maybe it wasn't with you.
Yeah, but that sounds great.
Yeah. So you open the Behance project. So not only you can share like screenshots and stuff, but you can share the magazine.
Oh wow!
And turn the pages in full screen.
That's great.
Yeah. I was really impressed.
And people can still comment.
Yeah.
Leave.
So in this case, it's just a player. So it's not to add comments.
Yeah.
It's really to share your work. But yeah, I mean, I was super impressed.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say I kind of like that structure here that we have. I'm gonna tighten up the leading. The leading's automatic right now, but for big display type, I tend to go a little bit tighter, just to keep the thing feeling like a unit. Maybe that's too tight. Somewhere in there. And what I want to do is call out that this is the title, but I want to keep it, in this sort of paragraph structure. So I think I'm going to use an underline. I love underlines. Super simple, super useful. Underline options in InDesign is great because you can go in and adjust how much the offset comes off the line that you're underlining. And I think somewhere in there is good. Maybe that's a little heavy. So we'll go back. Let's do a weight to like 3.5. Oop. I did it to the space. Yeah. Where'd it go? There we go.
Okay.
All right, so we got Rafa City as the title, and then we wanna know what page this is on too. So I think.
Donna is asking, what did he just do with the text box? He moved it, and it was adjusting the leading.
I might have been doing. Sorry, sometimes when I come in here in the leading, I shift arrow, and it will move.
Use the arrow keys.
Yeah, use the arrow key, and it will move 10 points at a time. If you do. Oh yeah, you see that? And if you do just the arrow, it'll move 1. But I usually do the shift to get like close and then sort of refine from there.
The buttons.
Beep beep boop 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 boop. Yeah, perfect. Like everything, there's probably a shortcut for almost everything you can do in InDesign. I don't know, a percentage of them at all, but some I do. So yeah, feel free to ask questions as I go if I'm doing something a little too fast.
3, 2, 1.
Boom. That was nice. So, sorry, I want to get a page number going here to call out. Oops. Let's go ahead and lock our guides because I just accidentally moved one.
Hadil, thanks for confirming. So he used the embed link several times, and it works with anywhere. You can also embed your magazine on any website and blog. Okay, cool.
Great.
Awesome.
All right. So, like I said before, I like how Jarvis is looking. What I don't like is that there's currently not a light weight to it. So I might look at a couple other serifs here. Let's see. There's one called. Let's see if I have it. Publico. Let's see, does that get us lighter? That one's kind of interesting. It has the disconnected P here. Again, it's not as light as I would like. So what I'm trying to do is get a little bit of contrast between the heavy condensed type here and something that we'll use as secondary.
And we remind you, if you just joined, there is a challenge today. You need to create your own art magazine. So we give you a free template on InDesign. Make sure to check the contest tab. We already received one entry, Brett.
Already? Wow, fast.
Guess who this is? Pick a guess.
Tyrone.
Nice
work. On it.
Tyrone.
So this is a pretty funky typeface. This is another GT font. The work these guys are doing is awesome. So this is kind of a traditional serif, but then sliced and cut and skewed and
so deconstructed.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
But still, the structure makes sense. Like if you look at the G here and here, you can see that.
Yeah, they match. The angles match here as you go through. Wow. And I think probably when you're out here reading it, it doesn't look weird.
So
it reads as a normal.
It reminds me, the typefaces where you try to save ink.
Oh, yeah.
And they try to
just trim wherever they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
So that's kind of cool. I don't know what we'll end up with, but I like where it's going right now. So let's give ourselves a page here, and then we'll just eyeball that for now, and then Page, what page is this going to be on? Maybe it's on page 5. I don't love the numbers. A little too classic for me. Let's see. So open my glyph panel here. A lot of times, typefaces will have alternates, especially in the numbers. So I don't like how the 0 and the 5 have different X heights right now.
Oh yeah, so this is something maybe you can explain, like where does it come from, like what you are showing.
Oh yeah, so this is I just pulled this out of my toolbar, but this is under glyphs. So a glyphs, the panel is basically where you have all of the characters and all of the expressions that the typeface has built in. So as we're going down, it has everything for all the languages that this is built in for. A lot of stuff, like I don't know what half of these, we get some Greek symbols here. I don't know what half of these are, but they're all there. So a lot of typefaces have their own arrows built in, which is cool. So if you're designing a signage system and, say you're using Helvetica has its own arrows built into the typeface. So you'd go into your glyphs and look for this, and let's look for these expressions. So
but what were you looking at?
I was looking at numbers. So
Alternates for numbers.
this is kind of interesting. So they have these. They have some alternates with the 5 and with the numbers in a circle. Something like that.
And can I show you something? It's
sure.
a new feature they introduced
Sure.
maybe 1 year ago. So if you type the 05 again, you know what you did before. Like you start with the classic one.
Yeah. Why isn't it highlighting? There we go.
Okay.
There's our classic.
If you select with the text the 0, and just
Oh.
type here, and here it will show you the alternates decided by the type designer. For 0, and if you click on the arrow, I don't know what's happening.
You get more. Oh, you go
Then
to
you open the glyph.
your glyph panel. Oh, that's
But
great.
for this character,
Yeah. Huh. And the 5 too.
if you add F is a classic. Maybe you can add
With
F.
your ligatures.
I don't know. We'll see.
How did we
So
do
yeah,
it?
so you select
it.
and you roll over. So maybe just
Oh, it's just a small cap.
or
Looks like.
and remove the cap maybe. Oh, that's the only one.
What's going on?
Is it the only one?
I don't know.
Oh no, because they do some
Yeah,
text
We must have.
too. Textile or something.
There we go.
Here we go. Okay, so this one doesn't have like so many alternatives, but sometimes it's like super.
Yeah, and just the hover over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Very
helpful.
different.
Cool. Okay, so I found some numbers that are the same X height here, and we can kind of like see how those match up with our capitals.
Nice.
So that was kind of what I was after for this scenario. So I think what we'll do is put these all in the same type box so we have a little bit more consistency, and I like to do a nice M dash here. So let's see. So I like the page numbers being secondary. Placement of it, not totally on the top corner is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But we also, or we can just hang it off the bottom of this.
Oh, it's nice too.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit more connected to the connected to
I like it.
the joint here. Okay, so we got one. And we'll do our.
And you have 3 total, right?
We have 3 total right now.
And outro, but I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I don't know if that needs to be in the.
In the table of contents.
Yeah, in the table
Maybe
of
not.
contents. Let's say. So this one. If I can type, future. So, and then photograph by Brian Sheffield. Sheffields. And then we'll pull this out. It's approximately the same space, and we'll say that's probably on page 11. So, and then our third, I think we'd probably go to to this page here. We want to do, call this one is going to be called New England. And that is by
You're lucky because their names are not too long. So
yeah, that's good. We'd have to adjust some sizing and bits after that. And see, did I spell that? Canada's got 2 T's, huh? Cool. So we got kind of a big TOC happening here, and we'll say 19. And then I kind of like, so we have yesterday I drew ourselves a hangline guide right here, which is something that we would like to try to start setting our type at across the board. And I end up using a little bit lower of a hangline currently. I kind of like it, so I might, let's paste some places to see, yeah. I kind of like it being a little bit lower, so I'm gonna go into the master and move this down. And we'll do, so that is my hangline. So I'm gonna move us down here. All right, and who knows, we might have to go back and change that again if our content ends up being, more than anticipated.
And just a quick tip for, I see like some designers working with the templates in InDesign. Remember that in InDesign, so you have the spread, with the pages and the master and everything, but you also have layers. This is something that you mentioned yesterday.
Yep.
And this template, they separated the text in one layer, the graphic elements, such as this one here, placeholders and background, okay? Nothing is locked, so you should be able to edit everything right away. But yeah, just make sure that you check the layers to understand the structure of a template. And here you see, depending on the page, you have more text. Here it's more on the graphic side, of course. So yeah, just make sure to check the layers, it should help.
Great. So something I think, the bones of this are here. We can come back and refine a little bit later. We might, let me see. Let's leave it like that for now.
Do you want to feature a picture by...
I thought about that, yeah.
Maybe it can give a
try.
visual clue,
Yeah, I kind of like this idea. Saw something the other day where we overlap some photos with the type.
Okay.
And we create this sort of like individual composition for each of the elements here in the TOC. So let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. So let's send that to the back. That's obviously a little too dark for legibility, but maybe.
Or maybe that's the picture.
Could be the picture.
Maybe
yeah.
you want to find a picture with no black.
Yeah. Let's see.
What did you do? You do replace?
Oh yeah, so I did Command D, which is place, and whatever box you have selected will place it in that. Whether maybe like, hey, here's a crazy idea. Maybe let's put a photo into a circle.
And you do Command D to place a picture inside.
Yeah. So it'll bring up your files here, and then you'll be able to go from there. Let's see. There's a lot of black in all these photos. There's some food, but that doesn't really give us a sense of the feature, which is talking about Rafa, the cycling brand. This one is pretty good. So as you can see, sometimes depending on what settings you have checked, like the photo comes in this big in the circle, which is obviously not what you want. You could manually adjust it and bring it down to scale, with our little bits here. But what I usually like to do just to start is right-click and go to fitting, and then fill content proportionally. So that'll just bring your whole image into the box. So we get a sense of what we're working with. And then this obviously needs to be scaled up.
Yeah. Jody says also, would you consider changing the opacity of the image?
Sometimes I would. In this case, I'd like, since we're featuring these photographers, I would like to keep them as true to their original intent as possible.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, if you're really just going for that effect, you can multiply and change the opacity until you can get into the right legibility. I'm not convinced that a circle is the right thing, so let's go back. Let's grab that image again. And we're still getting a lot of black. We'll send that to the.
And Eric is asking, would there be a section about implementing InCopy during this series? Not this week, Eric. I don't think you use InCopy at Hybrid.
No.
Yeah.
We're just going to be using some lorem ipsum placeholder for this. That's kind of nice. Just having a little thumbnail.
Yeah, it gives a visual clue of what to expect.
Yeah. I like it, and we can change where it lives based on.
Oh yeah, based
on the composition of the type.
Yes.
But unfortunately, maybe we can also vary the size. Let's not have anything be too precious yet. Maybe we come in about half that. Let's see. This is Brian's
future. Yeah.
So I like that photo we used for the cover earlier of Tyler up on this hydrant is really cool. So let's see if we can use that.
Nice.
On that here.
And it's giveaway time, so be active in the chat in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Make sure to sign in if you're just watching on behance.net/live, okay, in the Behance chat, because this is where our script will pick someone randomly. And you can get a chance to win this illustration, Mr. T by Robzilla, or The Pool Party by Jingwei, Christine Herring, the travel tags. You will receive the 3 posters, okay, 3 of them. It's like the weather forecast, you know.
Yeah.
Here you can see Mr. T. Here you can see an octopus. Here, travel tag for San Francisco. So be active in the chat. We'll announce the winners in about 2 or 3 minutes. If you don't know what to say, just say hi. Maybe you can let us know also where you're from. We're live from San Francisco, by the way. Frederic, you're using InCopy for translation purpose. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's useful. Frederic is at Hybrid right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good news.
She sits right next to me, right over here.
Really?
Yep.
So cool. Is she from Quebec or?
She is.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's see. We can go back and
Did
look
she
at
tell
this
you
a
what
little.
gravier means?
No.
Okay, you should ask her.
Is it embarrassing?
No, it's not very glamour.
Oh, okay. I'll ask her to.
You can ask her.
All right. I think we can do some more exploration with this a little bit later. It might be cool to have, some difference in scale here when we're talking about these overlays. But it's just gonna take a while to get so we can make sure we read everything, so let's leave it for now. And then on to a feature. So we're gonna create a couple new pages here, and then we're gonna start in on our Rafa feature from Jake. So just looking back at my notes a little bit, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So this is a hangline. What we're gonna do here, I just wrote a couple titles for these guys. I want to call this one On the Ground. So we're gonna start this off, and I have a feeling people will probably start asking about type styles and paragraph styles, and that is definitely something we use when we're first laying out Editorial and just getting a sense of how it's going to feel. We don't bother with that yet, but once we whittle down and get our system really tight, we...
Seriously?
What?
The cool one.
What? Frederic.
And again, it's
How
random.
they know?
Yeah, it's an algorithm, so it's not us. But yeah,
The
so
bot
who is the
just heard
winner,
us
Brett?
talking about. The winner is Frederic, or Frank, as we call her at work.
Frederic Gravier. Yeah,
Way to go.
it's rigged.
Is she watching
It's
anymore?
rigged, I guess. It's
Yeah.
rigged.
How's that happen?
It's insane. Okay. Algorithms. So yeah, congratulations, Frederic. We're just talking about you, and you will receive the 3 posters.
Maybe she's working. She should be working.
Should be.
Um.
Maybe it will be easier if we give you the posters,
Oh yeah.
so we don't have to ship them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
think it
really
will be easier. Okay, there will be more chances to win posters, illustration. Again, enter the contest if you want to get a chance to win a Creative Cloud subscription. We'll be live for still like 7 hours because after Brett, we have Ryan Lowe. He's ready. He's there working on the computer already. Oh, she says lol. So Frederic, she got and after we'll welcome Maude. Maude, who's from Quebec, but now she works in New York. And we will end the day with Marcel, working on the annual report.
Oh yeah. He does. He has some crazy projects there. Those
Yeah.
long pages after pages of
It's
data and info.
Yeah,
Crazy.
on the ground. Well, it looks nice. It's a grounded also.
Yeah.
Typeface,
Really, it's a confident,
Yeah.
confident expression there for sure. So, I think we'll do a subtitle as well, where we'll say the official name of the piece.
Okay.
So this stuff was shot for the Rafa City collection, and it was part of their lookbook. So
It's a trendy bike brand. You told me.
yeah,
Rafa.
yeah, they've been around for a while, but they make really nice, understated, simple cycling apparel, and they actually, not unlike you guys, create a really nice sense of community around the world too, because of the clubhouses that they have all over the world. It's a place where you can get coffee and go on rides with people if you're new.
That's
Stuff like that.
very
It's
nice.
great. Why isn't this changing? Weird.
So maybe guess we can ask Dina to bring them here.
So something's weird, but it's not letting me change to title case. How about if we do this? There we go.
Huh.
So we'll do Rafa lookbook. So let's see. So here's an instance where, our type, even though it is perfectly aligned on the grid, doesn't quite visually align. So there's a couple ways you could go about it, but I might just knock this guy over to hang on the grid there, and then even cheat this guy a little bit, so we get a nice visual alignment here.
Okay.
So if you go in and measure, it's probably not right. It's not exactly, but because of the curves and the size of the type,
it's pleasing for the eye.
Yep.
Yeah, so don't only rely on the alignment tools.
Exactly.
You need to
Exactly.
have a second pass.
Math will get you very far, but then you also got to use your eye,
Okay.
because that's your job as a designer. So I'm just trying to see how we connect this subtitle here. Let's see. Before we've done here. Kind of like it here, just nice and locked up.
Eric Bushman is asking, do you have the all caps checked from the character options panel?
Yeah, I must,
maybe.
yeah, even when I was doing my change
Yeah.
case, it wasn't changing for me. Who knows?
Maybe.
That stuff happens all the time, and then you just figure it out. And we'll do.
Hi, Endless. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for watching. Andres, who's watching from Spain, graphic designer in Spain, such as Marcel. Yeah, Andres, if you can stay and watch Marcel, who is our first guest, he was a designer in Barcelona.
Great.
But he moved to the US recently.
Yeah, he's in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a fair amount of annual reports over there.
Oh my God, yeah, I guess for the government.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, good place to be.
Yeah.
All right, so what I think I want to do, similar to how we did the intro to the magazine, I want to start. I want to start this issue with a little bit of a statement. It'll be a part of our, final, the copy of the article, but a nice sort of like kind of leads you into the full story. So, looking at when you're starting the feature for a magazine, a hierarchy is important, obviously. So first thing you want to read is the title, and then captions and credits and subtitles can be secondary. It's something that people will read, but it's not necessarily what you need to think about in your first pass through. And then this, once we get into settings, some smaller type will be a nice sort of directional lead into the content.
Hi Munir, good to see you in the chat. You call me Uncle Chez because yesterday I learned on the live. That,
I saw. Yeah, congrats.
I have a new nation.
That's great. Romeo?
Or Miro. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. That's
He has
awesome.
1 day already.
Wow.
He has 24 hours.
Yeah, hey.
Such a big boy.
And then tomorrow he'll be 100% older. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. He's double his age, like this.
All right, so let's do. We have a photo here to use for intro. I think
Yeah, this one is epic.
this is a really beautiful image. So if
When
I'm
you
not,
talk about ground and you see the ground, I mean,
yeah, I think there's a nice juxtaposition
picture
here.
of,
So I think if I'm not mistaken, I think these were shot on medium format film. So we have a sort of like a 4:5
old school.
aspect ratio to them. So they don't perfectly fit in in our page.
so what?
If I was
what do you
was
recommend?
making a book of just 4:5 medium format film, I think I would probably make it to that ratio, so then you would have these like perfect proportions as you go through the book.
I see.
But because we're using a whole different groups of content, you just basically looking around for a pleasing crop.
So how do you manage the bleed in this case? Like if you want to have a full bleed picture,
yeah,
you would extend it a little bit?
the image,
Yeah.
it's kind of tough.
You take the risk or?
You definitely want to bleed it. So
you want to bleed it.
you would just extend it out until like, so what I'm doing is making sure I hold shift when I do that so the proportions remain the same. But
you would go beyond the page. Like
I would go beyond the page.
Oh,
I would
okay.
probably center it up for composition wise, and then just like pull our stuff to our bleed to make sure. And most cases that actually looks very nice. Maybe we'll keep it that way.
Okay.
Most cases, the little bits of edges don't contain that important of information,
Oh,
but
that's a
we
good
just
point.
want to be courteous to the photographer that we're not dramatically changing how his work is presented.
Good point.
So I think this looks pretty good. I think it's a nice, very grand intro to the story. One thing I
Hi,
wanted
Carol.
to do.
I guess Carol cannot hear us the sound. Yeah.
Hi, Carol.
Make sure the
there is
YouTube
sound.
player is not on mute, but I'm telling you this, you cannot hear me. So maybe
Do
you
you
can
write it down?
Yeah, sure. It's mute.
So one thing I want to do, I want to simulate some paper on the background of this issue, just so we can kind of get a feel for how this might be printed and what paper choices we're
How
doing.
do you do that?
I think I'm basically gonna grab some Adobe stock of a paper texture and just kind of make my own background
Okay,
here.
yeah, let's try that. That's a good idea.
So let's see. There's countless paper textures across the internet,
Yeah.
right? But I'd like one that's pretty subtle. I just want there to
This one
feel.
looks,
Yeah, I think
safe.
I already
Oh,
looked
that's
at it. So it's saved to my library. It's got basically like we might call this a felt texture. I don't know if you can see that. Whoa, we just went
maybe.
crazy. We'll see it when I drop it into layout.
Okay.
But it has a little bit of texture to it, and we'll be able to change the color for us. So
Carol can listen to us now.
oh, she's
Hey,
got it.
Carol. Yeah, it's much better with the audio. You'll see.
Great. Let's see. So I have my white paper texture here in my CC library. So let's see how we can make this. So let's see, we zoom in.
Oh,
You can kind of see that. It's sort of like a watercolor
the
texture.
fiber. That's
a little
good.
bit of fiber. So I want to make sure it's subtle, but we're gonna just work with it for now. And because it's not an image with anybody or anything in it, I'm not afraid to stretch it and go crazy.
Nice. Hi Pablo, thanks for joining us. Pablo is watching us from Brazil.
Hello, Pablo.
And we're working with Brett on this Assemblage magazine featuring 3 photographers and exploring compositions with InDesign. Yeah. And he just licensed on the Adobe stock paper texture. So it will help you to...
Yeah, it just it helps get a sense of...
Perfect.
Yeah, you get a little bit of texture and color in there, and it will just also give you an idea of how things might start to look when you actually print them. Because when paper choice is pretty important when you go to do a final product.
Especially if you feature photographers, I guess they would be very picky on that.
They'll probably be picky, but I think that if I do my job right, they'll be happy with it. So basically, I just want to give a little bit of tone to this paper. I want it to feel a little bit more natural than the white. So I'm just gonna multiply quickly. Let's see. I want to take everything. Oh, that looks really yellow on that screen.
On the screen, yeah. That's good. At least they understand what's going on. That's good.
Maybe too.
Because
yellow.
maybe you have yellow paper. Yeah, it happens.
You could totally have yellow paper. So I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely changed the feeling. And so what do you check now? You check the readability,
So
what is your concern?
I'm not too concerned with anything right now, especially on the type side. When you're printing really heavy black on these papers, they generally act like white papers. It's just sort of we might call this
contrast is so strong.
Exactly. We might call this a soft white or a natural white. So it's still, what it will do, which in this case would be a good thing, it will give the photos we're using a warm tone. Because when you print on the paper, it won't go to your bright white. So it'll give a little bit of help to photos, especially if you're looking to create a warm tone with photos that don't have it. You can do, obviously, some in Photoshop, but these ones already do. And you can see when I multiply it, which is a little bit of what you'd get from...
that's interesting.
From a print on here. So you go from, whites here.
Yeah, something way...
to a little bit softer
here. Warmer.
Yeah, so I like that.
Awesome.
I'm going to take it down a couple of notches.
We have Johnny. He's happy to join your live stream because so far he was only able to catch the replays. So he's like,
great, welcome.
Thanks, Johnny. And also, who fired a nerd alert? Oh yeah, Wayne Smith. He said nerd alert. Nerd alert? 4x5 is large format.
Oh, good. Thanks for the correction.
Thanks.
Large, medium, so close. All right, all our bleeds are good there. So I like that as an intro here.
Hi, Gabrielle from Nigeria.
Something that could be cool would be to maybe we introduce a color for our type here.
Judy's asking you, what are your thoughts on hyphenation? When you break a word.
Yeah. Oh, you saying this is too many hyphens, Judy?
No.
Well, it is.
What do you recommend?
So, it's a case-by-case basis, I would say. When type is this big, you should really try not to hyphenate as much as you can. So, the problem, we get
manually.
We can do it manually, where you just you kick the words down to the other line. But then what that creates is sort of a weird rag here, a weird shape in your type. Yeah. So if this was Final Copy, I would say we'd have to go in and rag this a little bit more to get more of a more of an irregular shape here. I don't love how this creates a little step right there. This is sort of like the last step in our process. So once we have an entire book and all the content is final and no one's going to change the words, we go back through and we adjust our rag and even in our body copy to make sure we get a nice like legible in and out. So that's a good call. There's all sorts of hyphenation settings you can do in your paragraph styles and stuff like that. I think we might be using justified type in this issue or in this magazine, so it might not be as big of an issue.
Okay.
Because we can be a little bit more flexible with the spacing. But I kind of like. I'm just kind of experimenting here. What kind of color? What kind of color we'd want. Sometimes having our little captions in a pop color is really nice. It creates some nice texture on the page. And what I really like here is, it probably wasn't intentional, but it's a good thing about the photo is that there's all these colors that sort of are the same throughout. Like there's like 5 people wearing an orangish red shirt, which makes this really cool texture and color on the bottom. So playing off of that for our intro and our styles feels pretty good to me. And I want this to be a little yellower. Okay, cool. That looks pretty good for an intro here. So now we have a couple new pages, and then we're going to be right into some more dense content. So okay. I'm going to go into my Google Drive here and pull my fake 1,500 word feature.
And for our friends entering the daily challenge today, we invite you to create a art magazine based on a template. You have about 10 minutes to submit your entry during this show. Or if you don't have time during this show, it's okay. We'll review your entry during Ryan's show, which will be live in about 40 minutes at the top of the hour. And so far, we have 2 entries. So if you submit your entry in the next 10 minutes, you have good chances to win, actually. Hi, Laurib. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder of a challenge this time, so it's probably taking a little bit longer.
Lauren is a designer watching from Pakistan.
Oh, hello. Book 12, I think we can kick that down. Okay. I like the colored type. That's not what I meant to do, but it's kind of nice. But I'm going to go in here.
Maxime Degers. Are you French, Maxime? I see you have a mustache, so maybe you are French. Yes, you are from Perpignan. So Maxime is asking...
Is he saying that you can...
apparently you can start typing Lorem and press tab. Maxime,
do I have to do...
Okay.
Let's see. Do I have to do the quote?
Tab. Is it a new paragraph or is it the next one? This one?
I think it's new.
It's a new one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Okay. Or just
do that.
Maxime. It
Maxime.
works for you, Maxime. Okay.
Only in France?
Only in France. Can you use the text tool and just click on to create a new block of text? Just if you just click somewhere.
You have to draw it, right?
Nothing. Okay, Maxime.
I don't know. Investigate your settings. Let us know. Yeah. Maybe there's something we're missing.
Crazy. Maybe a plugin or I don't know. Or a setting. Yeah, let us know.
Lorem Ipsum plugin. Okay, so into our content. So I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we set up a 12-column grid. Is how I like to work a lot of the times because it gives us a lot of flexibility.
Okay.
You can have your 2-column layout and be really classic. You can use 3 columns. You can use as many columns as you want, really, but it just gives you the flexibility. And I think,
nice.
I think for our main content, I think 3 columns is gonna feel nice like that. So
do you count the number of words per line? Like, you have some rules like this?
Yeah, I mean, let's see how many. I think we could go smaller with our type 2. Yeah. We're at 11 right now. I think 9 is good body copy size, even a little bit big. There's definitely different schools of thought as far as 9, 10,
Oh, yeah.
11, 12, 13. As far as type size go, but you know, it's up to you. As long as people can read it and you like it, it's all good. So what I'm noticing here is that on my master, our page numbers are a little too close to the body copy. So I'm gonna go in here and just bump these down a little bit.
Yeah. So that's the
Maybe
beauty
like a
of
nudge.
the master pages.
Right.
You
Yeah.
just edit the
You only have to do it
position
once.
here, and that's it.
All right, I'm gonna turn this black just for now. Okay, so I think we want, I think we probably want some returns in our paragraphs here. When you do lorem ipsum, it just sort of defaults there. But let's start to get into this a little bit. So I think, remember that hang line? What do I always hit this on accident, and I never really know what it is.
What is this?
You know what this is?
No.
I don't know what key I touched. Does anyone know what this this dialog box is?
How did you do that?
I don't know. I always hit it on accident in one of my shortcuts.
Okay, it looks like you can create a link, map styles. It looks great.
Content placer tool.
Collect all threaded frames.
Anyone?
It looks
No?
powerful.
It does look
great.
powerful, but
I have no idea where.
yeah, but I don't know where it comes from. So, let's get into this. Let's not forget
They say it's
our
the resource collector.
resource collector.
Maybe you can collect some stuff like frames, images, and place them somewhere.
And like if you like, it would be equivalent to copy and pasting a
Hector
bunch
thinks it's
of.
the B key. Can you try B? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
that's the B key.
Oh, I hit V a lot
Oh.
to get my cursor, my pointer, my dragger thing back up. So that
Maybe a huge, what's the name? Clipboard. You remember?
yeah, that's kind of what
yeah. Looks like a big clipboard.
So you can like take all these elements and
And
move them to a different document
Yeah.
or
Makes
okay.
sense.
That makes sense. All right, cool. We figured it out.
Hector says no idea what it does, but I get
Yeah,
it
you
all
must
the
do
time
the same
too.
thing, Hector. Yeah. All right, so I'm taking our paper texture down to 50%. I think it's a little strong on my end. But something I forgot that I like to do when I'm comping up magazine layouts is to give ourselves a fake gutter or shadow in the middle of the magazine. So some of the stuff that I'm doing, right, adding paper texture and doing our gutter just helps us, keep an eye on where things are going into the gutter and give us more of a realistic sense of how this might look in the real world. So, forgive me, gradients in InDesign are not my favorite way to make gradients, but we're gonna make it work. So, stretch this out a little bit. And something we should do is put this on another layer because it can, so we can turn it on and off. We'll call it the gutter. And probably something people know, but something I love is, just selecting and then moving this little colored bit up into a different layer so you don't have to copy and paste all over the place.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Yeah. So, let's see. We're already on multiply. That's a little strong still. Let's take it down. Still, let's go 20.
So just for you, like, it's more like as a reminder that
it's just for me.
Careful.
Yeah,
This,
just a
spot.
reminder, like, hey, this is a real thing
Yeah.
that you're making here.
It's not for the iPad.
Yeah, so let's just pull that down here.
Well, of course,
So
you won't
it's subtle,
print
but yeah, correct.
it. That would be weird to print the shadows.
Yeah, always make sure to turn that off. So we put it on here, and we can, just get a sense of how this book.
Okay.
Just like an open, almost like a light comp of the book, but it's an easy thing to do. And then like once you have it placed, you can go in and lock this gutter, so you can move stuff without fear of having that interact. But it's even too strong. almost don't want to see it.
Okay, so Maxime, he looked it better. So I just looked up, and you can go in text and click fill with placeholder text. So this is what you do now for so,
from the type fill with placeholder text. Yeah. I did mine ahead of time here just so I could get the right word count that I want to work with.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that's a great. We use it all the time. All right, locking our paper textures. We could probably put our paper on a different layer too, but we can do that a little later. So I'm just looking back at some of my...
Oh, Jasmine says, great tip on moving the objects from one layer to the other one. This is the same in Illustrator, actually. You will see the same behavior. When you select something, it will show you in which layer this is, and you can click on the square on the right to move it to another one.
Yeah, anytime these boxes come up.
And I think in Illustrator, it's a circle.
Oh, yeah?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
They have to be different.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What are we doing here? Let's put some photos in this thing. Mm-hmm. So something I like to do is sort of playing with space on the page for my columns. Like, traditionally people would just stack up their 3-column texts. I like a lot of times to leave a column empty. Like, so I'm designing with a 3-column grid, but I'm leaving some space for your eye or to put other, in some cases, it's a good place to put, captions or credits. So say if we're on this side, we're gonna do, our caption style, which might look like this. We do bold for the name, and then it would associate with the images over on this side. So I think that looks pretty good. Let's see, what do we want to put in here? This is sort of just the beginning of the feature, so having some stuff that kind of automatically reads cycling, I think would be good.
Okay.
Nice. We put this guy here, and then let's see what else we got. Some food. The train is nice. So it's kind of cool that we get to sort of imply movement in both of these photos. So this one's on the train, and this one being a little more natural on the bike here. So not really any equation to laying images out, but you just wanna use your eye, and you don't always have to stick to your hang line either. When for this, we should probably do it here.
Olivier Van Ham say, "Oh, it's a Belgian train."
Oh, see, I thought they maybe were in Belgium. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the B. There's a big B.
Nailed it. Belgium.
So maybe it was Antwerpen, like someone said yesterday. Antwerpen train station. Okay, so that's Anvers. That's Antwerpen.
Cool.
It's a beautiful
Let's see.
city.
I bet we can. I'm just gonna quickly go to Jake's website, which is
here we go.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Antwerp.
Oh yeah, and here we go.
Is that? Yeah.
Got it. That's it.
Yep. Here we are. Cool.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I forgot about this image. I love that.
I was lucky. I was speaker at a conference every year in Antwerpen.
Oh yeah.
Called Devox, yeah, and such a blast every time I could go.
Yeah.
Like they have.
It looks like a beautiful city.
The city center is It's like being in Middle Age,
Oh yeah.
It's so old and so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love this city. And there is a design scene also in Antwerpen. Fashion design. There is a fashion design school, which is very, very good.
Whoa. All right, so let's say that we're liking the way this is going. There's probably a train.
Thanks for the heads
By
up.
Jake Sanger, yeah.
We were not sure, like that.
So sometimes photographers name their photos. This probably isn't the case.
Untitled too.
Yeah. And probably isn't the case for the lookbook, but I think it helps us create a little bit more detail here. When you go through, you get a little little bit more info about the photos. So now that I put those on the other side, I like to maybe keep this down at the bottom to anchor it here. This maybe we want that. Maybe we want that here. I like that. And then that's looking pretty good. Something that helps create some interest in the features are pull quotes. So pull quotes is something, you know, that all magazines use really, and it's just something that's pulled out of the text that's an interesting quote or statement or information, and it just helps to give us some variations on content as we go through. So let's see if we can pull something real from Rafa. Let's see. Deliveries.
Could do that. Free express deliveries.
Free deliveries. Get it by Christmas. Let's see. Maybe something good in Rafa travel.
Yeah. Oh, they have some quotes with it. No? Yeah.
Yeah, unforgettable trips to take amazing rides, beautiful landscapes with legendary climbs. Let's say, I like this.
Okay.
Oh, I love how their
Climbs is cool. Yeah.
their selection is pink too. Do it.
Nice CSS.
Branding.
Good job.
Yeah,
Dira, yes, we'll be live tomorrow also. Brett will be back at the same time for 2 hours, and tomorrow maybe do more feature pages and maybe explore more options, and and if we have time, work on the outro. And tomorrow we will try to publish online. We'll try to export it maybe, and we can share it with the chat.
Oh,
so
great.
They can have a look also on their computer.
Cool. Let's see. Auto's too much. Let's kick it down. Again, you know, all these styles will become more consistent once we're done and we go through and determine our, you know, our type styles and our character styles and paragraph styles. So we could pretend this is a quote. And
can you select the quote character and see if there are alternates? No.
Nope.
That's it. 2 rectangles. Boom.
So, yeah. Simple. As a designer, we wouldn't want to leave this here, right? We want to hang our punctuation and kind of offset those visually. Something that...
How'd you do that?
So, everybody does it differently. I usually turn on... I can't remember where it is. Story. There's a story setting in the paragraph that...
Oh, yeah?
That helps us. Yeah, I swear. Type. Yeah, there we go. Type. Story. There we go. So we click this optical margin alignment, and it basically hangs our quote for us. It's not quite hung, you know, all the way.
Can you adjust
that I would
it,
like?
or?
I can adjust it. I don't know that you can adjust. Well, let's see.
There's something here.
Maybe it's per line.
No.
All right, so we're gonna do it the old school way.
Okay.
So what I will do is let's move everything over a click, and then we'll move this back. So I'm moving this. This measurement is basically. This is might get you into trouble if you start going into these settings for your body copy and things like that. But for pull quotes and titles, it's nice to have it.
I see.
So I'm going to pull it a
Judy
little
says
bit more.
that we should be able to adjust with the story. Huh.
Should
we try to go back to story?
Sure, let's do it. You think maybe we weren't selecting something
right? Yeah, maybe
right?
you need to select just the paragraph. That would make sense. Just this. Okay, where is the story setting?
So we're here. Align based on value. All right, so we have just the...
Oh, maybe uncheck the first one and do this.
And then it's great.
No,
you
can refuse it. Okay. And now if you change it, you should do something like huge, like 24.
What if I do it? No, that's not going to work.
Hi, Leah. We're working with Brett on book featuring 3 photographers. And we're working on a quote, and you want to offset the quote character, and there are different ways.
Judy, I believe you, but I don't know how to get it to work right now.
Might be due to this typeface. You know, like there could be so many parameters. Oh,
so
that looks good.
That's the manual way. So you just you offset your paragraph here, and then you pull the first line back. So important to do when you're working with pull quotes. If you just want to get rid of all that headache, you would just make it centered.
Yeah.
Which also doesn't look too bad either.
Yeah, both look good.
So that's cool. I think maybe we try it in our color. Let's add that to the swatch so I don't have to keep keep eye dropping. It's kind of nice. That orange is a rust color of the train station is good.
That's good. It works.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to review some entries?
Yes. Let's do it.
And today again, it was really more changing, like the day change. Yesterday it was a holiday card.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about a full magazine, art magazine. So it was based on a template by Royal Studio, which is a studio that I really love. They are crazy. So they worked for Creative Cloud. They did some templates and some tutorials.
That's great.
They also worked on Plaka. Plaka is a crazy project, with this type of crazy illustration.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's
very cool.
Yeah, very trendy, very nice. With the team,
cool.
Oh, you see this beautiful glitch when you use cyan?
Oh, I thought it was actually part of the artwork.
Yeah, could be, huh? But no.
Yeah, good idea. Huh?
Look at that. So, and of course, this is just the color that we use in print. Just the cyan.
Yeah.
Thank you, live
freaks
streaming.
the screens
Good
out.
job. So this is Royal Studios. They share this free template for you, and we receive 3 entries because it's so changing.
All right, let's see.
So that's the first one.
Cool.
Maybe by Dana, I'm not sure.
Art in the Northwest.
That's Dana. Okay. Art in the Northwest. And also, we told you it's an opportunity to feature some artists that you like. So, let's see what's going on. Okay, nice table of contents. Welcome to our new artist. This is the intro, so we're talking about it with some Lauren soon. And, I recognize the piece in the background. It's actually an artist she was featured on at Adobe Max. And she creates these amazing sculptures outdoor, inspired by fish nets.
I remember. I think
India.
there was one in Vancouver for a minute while I was there.
Yeah, there was a huge one in the street. Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
And
is this the same?
So that's the same. Yes,
okay,
still the same. Washington. Okay, and this is I guess
kind of a collage.
Collage. Okay, good.
Artistic.
Then Tyron is back. Be Creative in 2018. Okay, this week features the Island Right creation. Okay.
Cool, that looks nice. Ready for vacation.
The quote. So you see Tyron, you can use the trick inspired by Brett, and you can offset the first line. Like Pablo Picasso. Okay. And some full page just to explain the concept. It was designed and created by Aaron using Adobe Dimension. Oh, nice. So Adobe Dimension is a new app in Creative Cloud that
3D?
lets you place, so you don't do 3D, but you place a 3D object and render it in a picture. So it will calculate the light, everything to make it look realistic, like here.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a real bag, but it's not a real bag.
Very cool.
These are not real bananas.
Fooled me.
And then we have travel. I guess we're traveling to Brazil.
Yeah, it looks like it.
New York Faces by Jason Bourne. Okay. Jason Bourne. And some more faces. Nice. Quotes. Again, now you can use the trick for the quotes. Okay, so these are the 3 projects.
Great. Are we gonna pick one now, or are we waiting until?
No, we have to pick one now.
Yeah. Great. Let's see.
Art in the Northwest.
Yep.
Taiwan, mixing 3D and the quotes, and travel.
I think I actually like the first one. I like that. I like that we're getting a little bit looser with the layout, and we're sort of letting the art speak for itself.
Okay.
And there's a lot of interesting content in there too. I think that could be kind of like fleshed out into a bigger. And it's a nice use of light and texture in that second page for a background. Yeah, that's interesting.
Cool. Thanks.
Great.
So yeah, we'll reward Dana with a Creative Code subscription.
Awesome.
And you know what? It's Christmas time. And we know it's very challenging today.
Yeah.
And they were the first participating, so maybe we should reward the 3 of them. What do you think?
That sounds awesome. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Way to go, guys.
So we give away a Creative Code subscription to the 3 participants because they were the first entering the challenge, and it's tough. It's a tough one. So yeah, congratulations to the 3 of you. We will, and just because this is Christmas, okay? So this is the last time I'm doing this. Just because I'm nice today, and usually I'm not nice.
Yeah. So. Me and Michael.
But yeah, thanks for entering the contest.
Yeah, thanks guys for taking the time. No, this stuff takes a while to
and you need to find resources, and this one was not easy. It's not easy, but keep entering, and you get more chances to win today. Take the time really to find an angle, as Brett says. Also, be innovative with the composition, with the topic, and
Great.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
You will have 3 more shows to feature your work, and the next one is with Ryan. Okay, so what time is it? We have sometimes, we have about 8 minutes to...
8 minutes. All right, so...
This page was great, huh? I don't know what you think, but...
Yeah, I think we'll move to the next one. I think, so something to pay attention to as you're designing Editorial, and you'll notice it when you flip through really good magazines, is what we call pacing. So just like in a movie, we have scenes that are slow and quiet, and then we sort of crescendo up to scenes that are loud and impactful. That helps create a nice arc through the story and creates interest for the reader. So it's not just like page of photo, page of photo, page of photo. So we have nice contrast in the spread, and also if like at a more higher level, contrast between spreads. So knowing that, the next spread, I think we're gonna calm down a little bit and use one really big photo, at least. So one of this is one of my favorite photos. Just the direction and like the perfect capture of the shadow and the biker here is pretty awesome. So we could, based on the format of the photo, we could offset this a little bit and still have room for some type.
Should it be on the other side? Yeah, I'm just scared that the biker will be
go into the gutter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell you why I don't think so.
Okay.
I think because the direction that all these elements are pointing leads us across the spread this way, and we have this empty space here, which allows your eye to travel off the page. If we did this, we have a sort of an edge here that kind of stops our motion, right? Yeah. But I totally hear you on the gutter. So what I might do, just don't tell Jake, I might just scale it a little bit to pull him into our margins.
Nice.
So that's beautiful colors here, and I don't think I want to put any type on it. I think it'll be a nice break.
Mitch is like, enlarge your photo a bit.
Yeah, perfect. I don't want to put any copy on it right now. I think after reading all this, it'll be a nice break to go here. What I would like to do is credit it. So we're here, and let's make sure these are on our grids. So that's what we're looking at right now. And I think in a lot of cases when I have full bleed photos, I take the master off just not to interrupt it. So I would just drag my none master page over here. And people aren't going to miss one page of page numbers anyway. So that's looking great. Let's pull that here. And then we'll go to our next page. Oop, this has none master. Let's actually. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. If Frederick is still watching, these are the
Here we go. In the flesh.
Mr. T by Rodzilla, the Pool Party by Jingwei, and the travel text. Okay, so you can
Yeah.
bring these to her.
Perfect.
Also have a gift for the agency. Do you need an art director?
Oh, we always need art directors.
Yeah.
The little guy?
Yeah, you know he can speak, so you just have to show him some design.
Okay. Let's show him. What does he think about this one?
Just trust me. I'm an artist.
Okay.
Make it more interactive.
Yeah, especially on paper.
Yeah.
He's a little bit dumb.
We'll just put
Yeah.
him over people's shoulder while he's working, and
Yeah,
he'll
yeah,
point at things.
That's it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
He's the hovering art director. That's
yeah,
his name.
It's,
actually.
I do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Good.
yeah,
That's
we'll
awesome.
get one for you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks. And then we'll take these posters back.
I will give it to you tomorrow because I have to find the box. But yeah,
Deal.
for a hybrid, you
Deal.
can have one.
Yeah, perfect. All right. What were we doing? The future of print. Somebody asked about.
What is the future of print?
That's a
a
tough
bright
question.
future.
I think it's bright.
Yeah.
I think there is definitely less print happening than there was, but what I do think is happening is that the print is better.
Yeah, it's not
the
the same
quality,
Yeah,
not the same
the
quantity.
type of print.
Yeah.
Is that I feel that before to like dispatch a lot of information.
Yeah.
You had to print a lot.
Exactly.
On and just hope that someone is reading. Now with the web and all the websites, you don't need to print anymore to dispatch a lot of information. But when
Yep.
you print, there is a purpose.
Yeah,
Like,
it's special, and
yeah.
it's something that people are going to pay attention to and feel, and yeah,
I
I
agree.
think I'm probably a little bit biased in. We might be biased in the industry, but
if you look at like the past 10 years,
mm-hmm.
they were like all the technologies that could have killed print were there,
Yeah,
and it
it's
didn't
true.
happen. So I think it has a bright future.
Long live print.
Yeah. So it's almost time to say goodbye to our friends.
Okay.
So tomorrow we'll keep working on the book,
Yes,
on
yes.
Assemblage. You will be back at the same time. Yeah.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
Pacific.
Make sure to be there. There will be a new daily challenge. I will pick something easier. Okay. But today I wanted to change you.
Yeah.
But you did a great job, and I'm sure you will do a great job. We will welcome Ryan Lowe. He will be back. In about 5 minutes. Okay. Stay tuned with Kathleen. Thanks, Brett. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's
I
great.
think it looks great. Yeah. Like it's.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's coming together, taking shape.
And make sure to come back tomorrow because we will publish it online, okay? So you will be able to experience and check the layout, but directly on your computer using the publish online feature. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the great interaction in the chat.
Thanks, everyone.
You were awesome. And stay tuned on behance.net/live. We will be back live in about 5 minutes just to give us time to welcome Ryan, okay? Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.